We support roughly 5,000 students, 2,500 staff and faculty, and almost 100,000 alumni. We have campuses in Philadelphia, San Francisco, and Beijing. My team is directly responsible for running most of the centralized services, and we're also responsible for our public cloud strategy as well. We deliver secure, stable, reliable platforms for all of our users in all of our campuses, so downtime is never acceptable. We have a focus on research, teaching and learning, and analytics, and Nutanix is very important to that service delivery. We were running a 3-tier architecture. We found that the architecture that we were running had several limitations. Being as disparate as it was, even with one support vendor, there were different support channels for each of them. So that led to a very disconnected support experience. We also found that upgrading the various components would take months at a time to complete a full-fledged upgrade. I went and talked to our Dell salespeople, and they brought in Nutanix. When Nutanix came in, it started checking off the boxes very quickly. It lowered the administrative overhead for the platform dramatically, with push-button deployment for firmware drivers and hypervisor updates. And this directly aligns with our public cloud migration. The API integration for automating workflows is also in line with our systems as code vision for our cloud strategy. So we can very easily translate workloads that we would run on-premise in our private cloud with workloads we would run publicly in AWS. We brought in Dell to help deploy the service. They spun it up in about 2 or 3 days, and the migration went very quickly. We were done within a week for over 500 VMs. Our Nutanix Enterprise Cloud solution today is comprised of 7 Dell XC hosts with 10 gig networking connected to Dell switches. We're running workloads, Active Directory, Python Django, .NET, SQL, and many other disparate services that are run throughout the school, including research and analytics workloads on them as well. Our top 3 technical and business points for moving to Nutanix were automation, work-life balance, and support. One of the biggest benefits that we're seeing with Prism today is the ability to automate the deployment of firmware drivers. We were able to deploy hypervisor updates in 3 hours with only about 30 minutes of staff time required. One of the other areas that we've seen improvements in our productivity is we're using about 14U of space for the servers and 2U of space for our networking equipment. So a 4-to-1 space savings with the Nutanix Enterprise Cloud platform over our 3-tier architecture. Probably one of the biggest differences we've seen with Nutanix Enterprise Cloud is the ability to improve our work-life balance and make Wharton a more attractive place to work. Before, we had to do a lot of off-hours maintenance and required staff to work extra hours just to get firmware upgrades or basic things done. With Nutanix Enterprise Cloud, those can all be done during the business day with no impact to the services that we run. We sleep a lot better at night now, knowing that the back-end infrastructure that we run on the Nutanix Enterprise Cloud is rock solid. The Nutanix Enterprise Cloud platform has exceeded our expectations. We have room to scale. We have pro support from Dell, and we're able to quickly and with very little overhead maintain the environment.